Hello again, and welcome to another Professor Hotkey discussion. As always, our mission is to identify and destroy the hidden bottlenecks in your keyboard execution. Today, we are shifting our focus to a critical, often ignored variable, the raw biomechanics of hotkey dexterity. This is the exact physical and neurological gap we engineered hotkeytrainer.com to solve. While traditional paper trading simulators teach you what to think under market pressure, they completely ignore the physical bottleneck of how your hands translate those split-second decisions into physical execution. Active day trading demands a level of finger independence that directly defies human biology. When you lock a modifier or an anchor key, anatomical constraints like muscle coactivation and intertendinous joins naturally tighten your adjacent tendons, physically restricting your surrounding fingers and triggering intense forearm strain. Mentally, this friction forces your motor cortex to override deeply hardwired pathways, such as the cooperative precision grip between your index and middle fingers. This conflict results in severe cognitive signal bleed and that costly split-second mental stutter right before you pull the trigger. To survive highly volatile markets without devastating execution errors, traders must move beyond standard hotkey replication and commit to deliberate biomechanical dexterity training that systematically dismantles these anatomical and neurological limitations. In active day trading, a flawless strategy means absolutely nothing if your fingers freeze at the critical moment of execution. When sudden slippage cuts into your profits or a fast-moving breakout leaves you behind, the culprit often isn't just your trading platform, your broker, or your internet connection. It's possibly your hand-to-keyboard interface. Hotkeytrainer.com doesn't teach you how to analyze charts or read order flow. Instead, we engineered it as a dedicated tool to train your hands to survive the physical speed of the markets. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on a hidden physical challenge that directly defies human biology: anchor key training. Let's break down the physical and mental science behind why anchor keys are so challenging and how mastering them unlocks institutional-grade execution speed. The biomechanics of high-speed keyboard execution mirror any elite athletic endeavor. To understand why anchor drills feel so exhausting, we must look at human anatomy. Your hands are naturally engineered for powerful gripping, not for high-speed, isolated finger independence. When you configure custom drills using an anchor key, you run directly into a major biological hurdle known as muscle coactivation. Your ring finger and your pinky finger share a deep flexor tendon network, meaning they naturally want to move together as a single unit. When a drill forces either of these digits to anchor down with continuous, steady pressure on a modifier key, like Control, Shift, or Alt, while demanding that your middle or index finger rapidly strike an entirely different key, you are literally fighting your own nervous system. This unnatural posture completely disrupts deep-seated biological habits, creating immediate physical microtension across your wrist and forearm. This triggers your hand's default reflex to clench into a defensive fist. Overcoming this friction requires systematic anchor drills designed to train your nervous system to isolate individual muscle commands under stress. The physical strain, however, is only half the battle. The mental toll of anchor key training is immense. Under normal typing conditions, your brain sends a single, straightforward command: press a key, then release it. But an anchor key forces your brain to generate a complex, dual-state command. It must hold one muscle group completely static while striking with another dynamically. This conflict triggers an immediate spike in your cognitive load, forcing your brain to split its finite processing power in real time. It must continuously monitor the downward pressure of your anchoring digit while simultaneously mapping out the spatial trajectory of your striking finger. In a high-stress live market environment, this split-second cognitive friction causes what we call mental stuttering, that invisible, costly freeze right before you pull the trigger on a position. By forcing this dual-state command inside our controlled trainer, you transition the mechanical movement from slow, conscious calculation into permanent muscle memory, freeing up 100% of your cognitive bandwidth for the price action. So, how do you conquer this learning curve and maximize your training efficiency? True biomechanics training transcends simply setting up your daily layouts and memorizing them. It requires implementing three core training principles into your daily routine. First, isolate your weakest links. Intentionally configure your custom layout setup inside our keyboard dex trainer to force your hotkey execution fingers to individually strike keys while your flanking digits are locked down on a rigid modifier. This builds raw physical capacity and deep finger isolation. Second, slow down to smooth out. Speed is purely a byproduct of mechanical accuracy. If your wrist tenses up or your hand shakes during a drill, your brain registers that physical strain as a threat, which actively halts muscle memory integration. Lower your target speed in your config settings until you can complete combinations with absolute fluidity and zero physical tension. Smooth is fast. Third, understand the tool ecosystem. While biomechanics drills and hotkey simulation appear similar, they serve entirely different developmental purposes. Your exercises in the keyboard dex trainer break biological habits, whereas your routines in the core hotkey trainer build platform-specific muscle memory. Review your drill performance analytics to track exactly where your reaction times spike, and isolate those pairs until they require zero conscious thought. I hope this breakdown has given you a clearer understanding of the biological limitations we all face in hotkey execution, and how mastering hand biomechanics can give you a decisive edge in volatile markets. By looking past basic layout memorization and actively training the raw neurological pathways of your hands, you turn manual execution into a true competitive advantage. Thank you for training with us today. Log into your hotkeytrainer.com dashboard right now, challenge your fingers with a new anchor configuration, and start breaking down your physical bottlenecks. In our next session, we are moving from theory to action, showing you the exact daily training blueprint to fuse these biomechanical drills with your live layouts. Head over to the platform, and I will see you in our next discussion as we continue to unlock our full hotkey dexterity potential.